Uh, Good morning. I extend a very warm welcome to you all, the principal, Professor Nirmal Jindal, our esteemed speaker, Dr. Pawan Sinha, or Guruji, as he is popularly known, and all those who have joined us in this webinar today. As we all know, uh, ethics, simply defined as the study of what is right or wrong in human behavior, acts as our moral compass in all our decisions and interactions. It's a branch of philosophy that involves systemizing, defending, and recommending concepts of right and wrong behavior. This is very much in alignment with the stated purpose of the National Education Policy 2020, which is, and I quote, to develop good human beings capable of rational thought and action, possessing compassion and empathy, courage and resilience, scientific temper, and creative imagination, with sound ethical moorings and values. Ethics plays a very important role in education and sets the standards of what is acceptable or not acceptable, and as such protects the interests of both students and teachers. Our esteemed speaker, Dr. Pawan Sinha, will enlighten us today about those aspects, and we look forward to hearing from him. I now invite the principal, Professor Nirmal Jindal, to officially inaugurate today's program and welcome our speaker.
Thank you, Neeru. Thank you very much. First of all, I congratulate the IQAC for organizing this program on ethics and new education policy. As you have rightly stated, that ethics plays very important role in education system, because the basic objective of education is to build healthy society. And when if we are imparting knowledge without behavioral and positive attitude and certain values, person cannot contribute significantly to the healthy society. So when we develop, we have to develop the social values. We have to develop, and India had a very strong tradition of strong values. Our society, our country was known for its social values. But you find out that as we are westernizing, we are modernizing, and the world is changing. The youth is getting detached from our traditional values. And they think that these do not fit into the modern system. But this new education system aims to familiarize students or to bring the traditional value systems. I mean, I cannot call them because traditional in the sense that they have no relevance today. Traditional in the sense that in our society, in historical society, those values which had been existing, they have universal value. They have value not only for our contemporary world, they have value for the whole world, I think. So it is very, very important step on the part of our thinkers or the makers of the new education policy to think of bringing these values, ethical, social values, back to the education system. Because otherwise, if it is not a part of the education system, no matter how much you tell your children that they should do this or that, they think that they do not pay much of attention. But when it comes to the education system, they understand it logically, they rationally, and they can pay enough attention. So I'm very glad that Pawan Sinha, Dr. Pawan Sinha, whom I know as a scholar, as an educationist, philosopher, writer, thinker, activist, and at present also a spiritual leader who is known as Guruji. He will be speaking on such a significant topic: ethics in new education policy. So most of us, he hardly needs any introduction. His face is popular. Everybody knows him. Everybody know him. Initially, he started as Astro Uncle, and then he has been reflecting on socio-economic and religious issues on various news channels. So despite his being so busy, when I talked to him and I requested him to come and interact with my students, he adjusted this program in his schedule. So I'm very thankful to you, Pawan, I'm sorry, I'm just saying Pawan because, he's so young, he's so younger, to me. And at present, he's teaching in Motilal Nehru College. So he's maintaining his interest of teaching, his academic interest, but at the same time, he's contributing to the society. He has an ashram, and he's, into meditation, in spiritual things. So I think there's a lot to learn from him, because all these things are scientific. We cannot reject them just like, orthodox or traditional or anything. So I think it is very important on the part of youth to understand all these things logically and rationally. So thank you very much, Pawan. You're most welcome to Satyavati College virtual platform. And I welcome all the audience, to this platform once again, to this talk. It is very, very significant talk. And I expect students to be interactive in this session, because it's going to be, I think, very, very active session. So I expect students to raise questions and clarify their doubts. And once we move to the normal time, we would like to have you in real to meet our students. Thank you very much, Pawan. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Jindal, for your comments and for your brief introduction to Dr. Sinha. I would like to add also a few more details to that introduction. He's a man of many parts, as I said earlier. He's an academic who has engaged himself actively in different disciplines like political science, defense studies, and education systems. And he teaches political science at Motilal Nehru College in Delhi University. He has published over 50 articles and books and participated in many debates and spiritual discourses in India and abroad. He has presented nearly 5,000 episodes on different TV channels on issues of parenting and behavioral problems. In addition, Dr. Pawan Sinha is also a spiritualist, the driving force behind the Pawan Chintan Dhara Ashram at Ghaziabad, an organization that is devoted to enhancing the physical, mental, and moral development of children and the youth. He has initiated many projects like the Youth Awakening Mission, Project Rishikul Shala, We the India, to highlight social and strategic issues prevalent in society. Dr. Sinha has also received many prestigious awards, including the DC Kothari Award in 2020 for his book Shiksha Ka Dwand, and the National Vyas Samman by the government of Madhya Pradesh for his contributions in the field of education and social awakening. We are indeed honored to have him among us today. Now I invite Dr. Sinha to address us all.
Before he starts, I want all the audience to be there for a quick click for the magazine. So somebody can take a photograph. Everybody, please switch on your videos. And Anupam, can you do it for us? Gallery view?
Yes.
Kamarul Hassanji, just switch on your video. Rahul, Prabha, can you just switch on your videos, all of you? Yeah. Rahul, Alicia, आपका बड़ा dark आ रहा है. Alicia, I'm really thankful to you. I just forgot about you. You had been coordinating and working hard. She's one of the faculties who into a lot of things, and I really depend on her to organize a lot of programs in the college. हाँ जी. तो एक click ले लीजिए for the magazine. Anupam, can you do it for us?
It is done.
Okay, thank you. All right. Okay.
Kindly accept my wishes. Today, it's a great matter of pride and nervousness also, because I'm talking in front of my teacher, Professor.
Pavanji, you can start now. Yeah.
So I started with that. It's a matter of great pride for me, and I'm a little nervous also, because I'm talking in front of my teacher, Professor Nirmal Jindal ji, and she is my guide for MPhil, and she really guided me to write on international relations. defense, development, and all these issues. I'm always beholden to her for her very kind behavior for me. And when she called me as Pavan, so I felt elated. I felt really elated because now very few people are left in my life, those who take my name with such love, affection, and command. So first of all, I want to express my gratitude, my thanks to my teacher, now principal, Professor Nirmal Jindal ji. And then I'm thankful to the coordinator, IQIC, Professor Neeru ji, Alisha, who was coordinating everything. Then Rahul ji. The topic given to me is definitely of great interest, and it is very much needed also. New education policy and ethics. Usually in research methodology, any topic after end seems to be a minor connotation, and before end seems to be a major connotation. Here, I would say that the topic which is the word which is appended after end, it is of greater importance, because it is not just about education subject or subject of the classroom or subject of the textbook, but also it is having deep impact on the society. And I would not be failing in my sentences if I say it is going to have very deep impact on societies. Whatever world has seen in, say, last 1,000 years is continuous wars. In fact, peacetime in the world is very less, and the wars in the world are much more. Nearly 8,000 wars have been there since 15th century, including the two world wars. Indirectly, many countries are now vying for Third World War. Society, by and large, is becoming intolerant, and it is not about India alone. It is about everywhere. You see American society, Canadian society, Russian society, Chinese society. Every society is engraving the elements of intolerance. Relations are breaking, and that too not just in India. Everywhere relations are breaking. People to people contact has become very weak. We are the people who always remembered the word Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Even in our own land, every fourth relation means I'm talking about husband and wife, is facing altercations, and every seventh relation is touching, particularly in urban societies, every seventh relation is touching police station or court. Relations between parents and children have become suddenly very weak. very, very weak. Parents have become financiers, and children are settling down their own life without the presence of parents. Sibling relations are already have gone very weak, and we have already accepted that siblings relations are weak. All have their own lives. They will be busy in their own lives, and we will meet as and when. Relations between neighbors have gone very weak, but are still stronger than siblings, but otherwise very weak. Relations between colleagues are very weak. Relations between teacher and taught are very weak. Schools have become business centers. Private universities have become business centers. And I have some specific reason to mention these are relationships, and particularly universities and homes. So teacher and taught relations have become very weak. Man-to-man contact has become very weak. And this is the reason that constitutionally or through law, society seems to be heading for equality, but actually it is not in 21st century, unfortunately. The chasm between the castes is increasing, not only in rural areas, but also in so-called well-educated urban areas. Crime is increasing, particularly against women. In 21st century, when we thought in late 80s, that after globalization, crime against women will reduce. I still remember when Dunkel draft was proposed, and we were taught about Dunkel draft by erstwhile government. It was said that it will bring about so many changes in mentality also. But we have seen that in technology, we have gone towards advancement tremendously, but mentality is by and large is still the same. And this is the reason why in 21st century India, we have rapes, we have caste differences, we have caste-based altercations, religious disharmony has increased. Religious disharmony has increased in last 1-2 decades. Still in India, we have caste and religion-based politics. Caste-based altercations. Ujjwalji, please, thank you so much. So, what we are seeing, even in spirituality, things are not the same as we think them or as they used to be. So everywhere we see immorality is creeping in. This is the danger about cybernetic society, and it was well written by some sociologists in late 70s. They started analyzing the dangers of cyberneticism. They started realizing the dangers of cyberneticism in late 60s in USA. When technology overpowers human life, morality leaves the space. Vacuum is created, and that vacuum is again filled by the technology. Phone is becoming a major matter of dispute in many families because most of the people are now on phone even when they don't require. They, for the entertainment sake, are always on the phone. They do window shopping on the phone. They pass more time with WhatsApp. They pass more time with Facebook, even when it is not required. And this is cyberneticism, where machines started creeping into human life and starts distorting it. The reason being, machine does not have emotions. Now, Alexa, for example, Alexa is replacing many needs because now children are talking to Alexa for various purposes.
एडमिशन शुरू हो रहा है ना, 3 दिन था, तो वो बोला कि मंडे को भैया हम करवा दें। हमने ठीक है, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है।
Mishra ji, please, will you please? So Alexa is replacing maybe mother, siblings, or the works who do household jobs, household workers. Very soon you will see in 3-4 years, robots will come in the family. They'll join the family and we all will welcome them. The reason being, he does what we say. After the advent of robot in our family, initially it will become a status symbol, but gradually it would start replacing human beings, their emotions, their sentiments, their love, etc. Robot can't care. Robot can't heal one's mind. It cannot de-stress somebody. It cannot give boost to one's self-confidence. It's a machine, but it will replace, and definitely it's going to happen in 2-3 years' time. Then maybe for many reasons, mother will not be a great requirement. Siblings may not be important at all because children will talk to robot. Robot will sing. Robot will cook. Robot will talk to them. They would start discussing their personal issues with robot, and robot will go to Google and Google will answer through robot. So they will be having a very wide space to talk because this talking gupshup, which is called, is reducing in every family. And this is the reason of greater mood swings. People are becoming either very loose or very possessive. They are losing their IQ. Yes, I'm telling you rightly. They are losing their emotional quotient. they are losing their spiritual quotient also. Because every religion has become a political religion because of some of the other reasons. So when EQ, SQ are jeopardized, IQ will definitely come down, and particularly in cyberneticism, when we have to think in the way machine thinks or machine wants to think, or we want machine to think, we will streamline our thoughts, they will not spread. And when thoughts are not spread, they lose magnanimity. They lose inclusiveness. And hence everybody is becoming exclusive and not inclusive, but life goes through inclusivity. As said by Plato, that society is individuals writ large. So when a group of individuals start thinking in this way, it will hamper the society. Societies will formulate societies' thinkings, and world starts becoming like that. And this is the reason whole world is standing on the verge of Third World War, because when one country decides to snatch the right of other country, hardly anything is left then. United Nations, since 1949 onwards, started promoting compassion, but failed. Many countries started promoting peace. Even in political science, we study peace and conflict. There is a separate school studying peace and conflict, but failed. We discussed a lot about peace. We discussed a lot about opportunities for peace. We discussed spaces, about the space for peace. Importance of peace is very well known. Everybody knows. But we failed to establish peace. And peace is an integral part of value system. So if individual, then individuals group, then society, then societies, when all together are leaving that space of compassion, peace, ethics, we all will be warring with each other. Why imperialism? Imperialism is what? For my interest, I will snatch others' right. And if ethics are there, I will not do this. So now let us define ethics. Many definitions have been given about ethics. To me, ethics means doing the right thing with compassion. Compassion already includes love and regard for another human being. This is ethics. It cannot be defined the way we do in mathematics or in chemistry or in physics or even in political science, sociology, psychology, etc. Ethics to me is simply regarding others and doing the right job. Ends and means both should synchronize. This is the core value of ethics. If ends are different than means, or if means do not qualify the end, result will be catastrophic. If I want to establish peace throughout the world, but my means is gun, I cannot establish the peace because other would also lift the gun. May not be today, but tomorrow definitely. If I'm pushing a ball towards the wall, it will definitely react. They may be different, but it would react. So ends and means both should qualify each other. Good end is impossible to be achieved without good means. Now, compassion. Do we think it's very easy to inherit or inculcate? Very difficult. I tell you, it's very difficult. It is very difficult to be logical. It is very difficult to sacrifice. It is very difficult to be compassionate. It is very difficult to regard others. So these are not some very usual things. Nobody wants to leave this space for others. Nobody wants to welcome anybody at his home. Very difficult. Nobody would like to leave his or her property rights. Very difficult. We all resist. It is very, very difficult to regard the parents. It's not easy, particularly one is not regarding the parents. Then it is very difficult to regard the parents or teach him to inculcate the values to regard. It's very difficult. Very difficult, I tell you. Everybody knows that we should not be angry, but how to stop it? Very difficult. Now I'm giving you a very pragmatic picture. Everybody knows that we should not condemn or criticize anybody uselessly, but we all do. And we are more passionate when we criticize others uselessly. Everybody knows the rights and duties. Still, everybody wants to capture others' rights for one's interests. So, to inculcate ethics, to inculcate value-based life is very difficult. But it doesn't mean that we should not try for this. But it doesn't mean we'll leave it. It doesn't mean we will not solve this problem or riddle. Now, when we start doing solution practices, particularly for values, we should forget government. Government still has no role to play except for bringing about a new education policy and inculcate the system of value education in that. From many years, I have been continuously trying and vying for value education course. And I remember that in 2011, September 2011, we held a conference in Constitution Club. And we started, Ashram started speaking vehemently for value-based education. I don't know, I cannot claim that it was because of our pressure that value education was introduced. But it was introduced. And it became a course where you have to write certain answers regarding the values. A major fiasco in this field. I would term it There's a major fiasco in this field. Values are inculcated, not taught. They cannot be taught. Values cannot be limited in the books. And this is the reason why teachers and parents both have faced defeat. And they could not, or we could not, inculcate values in the society. Even Dharma Gurus could not inculcate values in the society because they cannot be taught, or through their sermons, everybody cannot learn. Very united minds only learn through the sermons. Rest here, then it becomes hearsay, and then it's gone. Then it is gone, out of mind. Very united minds learn from the pravachan or from books. Usually, and the percentage is very less, just 1 to 3% people learn through what people say or what they read from the books of laureates. Otherwise, it is just for the sake of listening or for the sake of reading. It is not imbibed. So what to do? What new education policy says? Fortunately, national education, now it's national education policy. National education policy at least mentioned that values must be inculcated in the students, or it talks about VBE, value-based education. Since I'm talking in a college, a place where tertiary education is given, but I must include primary, pre-primary, and secondary education also for a while. The reason is very important. The reason is learning is the first stage of learning ends when the child is just 5-year-old. So most of the earning ends when the child becomes 5-year-old. Then the second stage of learning is 5 to 12. After that, nobody learns. We all inculcate some values. We use our experiences, or we use our intellect. Otherwise, the process of learning ends at the age of 12. So we need to be very cautious because national education policy, that is why I think, talks about early child care, and there it includes value-based education. At the age of 20, 21, it is very difficult to inculcate values. Really, I'm telling you. Because from last 25 years, or even more than that, I have been working with youth of different countries, youth of different areas of India. I myself have chosen to go away from urban society and touch the tribal and village society. That's why I chose to live in a village. Because there is a wide difference between the aspiration and working methodology of an urban society and a rural society, or in a tribal society. In urban society, again, there are 3 categories, A, B, C, and A means metro cities. The students of metro cities think differently from the students of ordinary cities. So this is a very complex area, which includes biology, which includes society, which includes financial possessions. Education, in fact, is standing on the fourth step. Family is prior to education. That's why all education institutes, even if they try together, cannot teach ethics and values. Now, what to do? Means I'm giving you, you must be thinking I'm giving you so many riddles. This cannot be done, this cannot be done, this cannot be done. Then what to do? Because without ethics, without values, world will not.
I think we are facing some technical issues from Dr. Pawan Sinhaji's side. We can wait.
Yes, we are all at the mercy of technology, so we'll just wait.
I'm sorry because of the electricity, because I just told you that I'm living in a village. So because of this electricity issue, I was disconnected for a while. So where I lived, I start from there. So you must be thinking that I'm giving you riddles and riddles and riddles, how to solve it. See, about the homes, we must practice ethics. Parents should know that the students do not learn from the books or from the building or from the classroom. They learn from the demonstration. This is human mind. We learn from the demonstration. We cannot be taught about informal things because mind does not accept that, and we should be very clear. So there is a difference between acharya and teacher. शिक्षक और आचार्य दोनों अलग अलग चीजें हैं, इसलिए हम विद्यालय और महाविद्यालय कहते हैं, हम शिक्षालय नहीं कहते हैं, because it has a different connotation. शिक्षालय is different connotation where formal education is given, and vidyalaya where that education is given which emancipates. अब emancipation को आप केवल मोक्ष से जोड़कर मत देखिए. Emancipation is a very wide term. When we talk about women emancipation, so we mean that financial emancipation or financial independence, emotional independence, mutual respects and whatnot. So emancipation is a very wide term. Vidya cha vimuktai. विद्या मोक्ष की तरफ लेके जाती है. अब कुछ ट्रेडिशनल वर्ड्स को सुनते ही हमको लगता है कि ये तो कुछ आउट ऑफ द वर्ल्ड बात होने लग गई. ऐसा नहीं. जैसे हम वैल्यू बेस्ड एजुकेशन की बात करेंगे, हम इसकी हिंदी करेंगे मूल आधारित शिक्षा. शिक्षा हमारा एरिया है, लेकिन ये एक ऐसा एरिया है विच can only be fulfilled through demonstration. This education or values can only be inculcated through demonstration, not through the books. और वो demonstrate हम नहीं कर पाते. आचार्य का मतलब जो आचरण से शिक्षा देता है. And that is why we had a compulsory ashram system in Indian traditions, means hostel, compulsory residential education was there. आज मुश्किल है, बहुत सारे लोग इमोशनल रीजंस की वजह से भी, and many people because of their financial constraints cannot send their children to residential schools. But residential schools means, I'm talking about the past. Residential schools means ashrams. They were more capable in inculcating the values because there were some teachers who all the time demonstrated highest values in themselves. Now, what we do in classrooms, we demonstrate highest or widely read books or recommend widely read books to students. Whatever you do, you cannot teach values to any person in the world, maybe your son or daughter. It is impossible. हम बच्चों को जैसा बनाना चाहते हैं, हमें वैसा होना पड़ेगा. And this is the reason why value education has so far faced defeat. Even before 2015, when the whole exercise of new education policy was started, even before that, there was the system of value education. It started in 80s in UP board books. Naitik Shiksha was an important component of the syllabus. We had workbooks. और बहुत सारी स्टेट्स में नैतिक शिक्षा होती थी, लेकिन क्या स्तर बढ़ा नैतिकता का? नहीं बढ़ा. The reason was our teachers did not demonstrate what they want us to learn. The person who already is in a process of conflict, how can he demonstrate best of ethics? The person whose mind has already accepted some malpractices as the practice of the life, how can he demonstrate ethics? The person who has already said that, yes, in business mein to ye sab hota hi hai, how can he teach ethics in business? The person who has accepted, or group of persons who have accepted that इनकम टैक्स में चोरी तो ठीक है, ऐसे कर लेनी चाहिए. People are advising how to save income tax. How can they teach ethics? We are a part of that. When we are not doing our own work, we will not gather the courage, because it is, after all, is not a theater, as Shakespeare said. Here there is a difference. Shakespeare said that the whole life is a theater. But I would say there are many parts which cannot be changed into the theater. For very limited time, we may do acting, but ultimately students would know what we are doing. And this is the reason why we are not capable to teach what we wanted to, or what we are not capable to impart value education among our students. Now, what is the solution for this? Actually, ethics cannot be taught by regular teachers. value-based education cannot be imparted by regular teachers. I think since it is a core human value, core value of the brain, hence anybody who touches or has a capability to touch the brain of the student, mindset of the student, thought of the student, he could touch the subthalamus part of the student or hypothalamus part of the student where from thought governs, thought generates. Only he can train them. And this training starts when a child starts going to toilet. The first training, though it is relevant here because we all have the limitations of being in the higher education, but toilet training is the primary training for value systems. Then stage of 5, then stage of 12. Most of the significant values like team spirit, regard, respect, emotions, love, righteousness, control over self, Sanyam, they can only be inculcated in the students between 5 and 12. 12 साल के बाद बच्चे को संयम सिखाना बहुत कठिन होता है क्योंकि उसका ब्रेन वैसे ही सेटल हो चुका होता है. जैसे ही आपका माइंडसेट सेटल हो जाएगा, you need external pressure to control your mind, but you cannot change from within. देखिए दोनों चीजों में अंतर है. हम रेड लाइट जंप इसलिए नहीं करते क्योंकि वहां मामू खड़े हैं, पुलिस वाले. एक ये थॉट है. और दूसरा थॉट ये है, अगर मेरे अंदर वैल्यूज है तो चाहे कोई भी नहीं खड़ा होगा, मैं रेड लाइट जंप नहीं करूंगा. बात वही रेड लाइट की है, लेकिन दोनों चीजों में ये फर्क है. I'm not crossing the red light, or because I think I should not, or I ought not to, or I'm not crossing the red light because some police वाला is there. अगर हम ये डर के मारे रेड लाइट क्रॉस नहीं कर रहे हैं कि पुलिस वाला वहां है, तो हम वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ नहीं जी रहे हैं. और सीधी सी बात. और अगर हम इसलिए नहीं कर रहे हैं कि मुझे नहीं करनी चाहिए, तो हम वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ जीते हैं. Now this has to be demonstrated in the classroom. So pedagogy for value education is entirely different. It has no sense of introducing or recommending any book. Teacher should go to a class, maybe for 50 minutes, and their teacher should touch some important issues. In one class, one issue, and let or ignite a discussion between teacher and the taught. Students will give you different situations they are passing through, or their parents are passing through, their siblings are passing through, or what they are seeing in the society. And teacher must demonstrate how not to be trapped in a society or in a group of individuals which is unethical. Relationship is very important. संबंध स्कूल कॉलेजेस में बहुत जल्दी बनते हैं बिकॉज ऑफ इमोशनल वैक्यूम. हम बहुत जल्दी फ्रेंड्स में तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, गर्लफ्रेंड बॉयफ्रेंड बनाते हैं, उसमें भी कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, वो बदलते बहुत तेजी से हैं, इसमें प्रॉब्लम है. अगर हमारी रिलेशनशिप स्टेबल है, लव स्टेबल है, ट्रस्ट स्टेबल है, प्रॉब्लम नहीं. वो स्टेबल नहीं है तो इट विल क्रिएट promiscuity in the life, which will lead us to nowhere. इसको रोकने के लिए टीचर को डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करना पड़ेगा. उसको हो सकता है थोड़ी सी बायोलॉजी समझानी पड़े, थोड़ी सी साइकोलॉजी समझानी पड़े, लेकिन उसको ये चीज अपने कैरेक्टर से डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करनी पड़ेगी। दूसरी चीज है झूठ। झूठ बोलना मतलब एक वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ से दूर हट जाना। पेरेंट्स कहते हैं बेटे या बेटी वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ जीना, इतने में एक फोन आता है और वो उसी बेटा बेटी से कहते हैं मैं घर पर नहीं हूं। एंड दिस इज द फर्स्ट लेसन दैट दे इम्पार्ट टू देयर चिल्ड्रन, not to lead a value based life. छोटी छोटी बातों को लेकर घर पर अल्टरकेशन होना, जिसमें वो शब्दों की सीमा लांघते, पति पत्नी लड़ते हैं और वह बच्चा सुनता है। Can we imagine that child will always lead a value based life? I have seen many families where it is said with pride, under the table money, ये देखो 1 लाख रुपया तनख्वाह, 20,000 रुपया, अंडर द टेबल मनी 1 लाख रुपया। बच्चा इस सब को देखता है और बच्चे का जो ऑब्जर्वेशन है वो एडल्ट के ऑब्जर्वेशन से 10 टाइम्स फास्टर होता है। एक 6 महीने के बच्चे के अंदर भी ऑब्जर्वेशन होता है और वो 10 टाइम फास्ट होता है। तो जब ये बच्चा देखता है, सुनता है, तो वह उसको डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करता है, क्योंकि ये उसके सबकॉन्शियस पार्ट का हिस्सा हो जाता है। तो हमें इसके लिए वो क्लासरूम्स चाहिए हमें इसके लिए वो क्लासरूम्स चाहिए जहां टीचर ये डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करे कि पान नहीं खाना, गुटखा नहीं खाना है, हमें स्मोकिंग नहीं करनी है, ड्रिंक नहीं करनी है, ड्रग्स नहीं लेनी है, अनयूजुअल रिलेशनशिप में उलझना नहीं है, इमोशनली स्ट्रांग होने की जरूरत है। वी हैव टू हैव सेल्फ कंट्रोल ओवर अस, ओवर आवर थॉट्स। जब ये दिखाया जाएगा तब वैल्यूज और एथिक्स सोसाइटी में आएंगे, अदरवाइज नहीं आएंगी। न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी ने इस चीज को लाने की कोशिश की है अभी तो ये, लेकिन बुक्स में है, अभी तो ये पॉलिसी डॉक्यूमेंट में है। प्रैक्टिस में कैसे आएगी इस पर अभी कोई बहुत डेलिब्रेशन नहीं है, लेकिन नेशनल रिसोर्स सेंटर्स बनाए गए हैं, नेशनल रिसोर्स सेंटर्स फॉर वैल्यू एजुकेशन, NRCVE। तो इनके माध्यम से इस चीज को लाने की कोशिश तो की जा रही है, लेकिन अभी ये कितना इन्वोग होगी कहा नहीं जा सकता। और उसमें जो 3 चीजों पर फोकस है, द वन इज ज्ञान मीन्स नॉलेज, then pragya means wisdom. Knowledge and wisdom are 2 distinct qualities. And the third is satya, means truth. So when we inculcate information, we should convert them, those information into knowledge. ये टीचर का काम है। उस नॉलेज को आचरण में उतरवाना ये आचार्य का काम है। वही टीचर आचार्य बनेगा, तब वो विजडम में कन्वर्ट होगी नॉलेज। जैसे इंफॉर्मेशन आई कि गुस्से से दिमाग खराब होता है और हमारे कॉर्टिसोल हार्मोन्स जो हैं वो जेबरडाइज होते हैं, उनका फ्लो कम होता है और व्यक्ति की जो सोच है, जो उसकी मेंटेलिटी है, वह खराब होने लगती है। अब ये इंफॉर्मेशन को हमने ज्ञान में कन्वर्ट किया कि दैट मीन्स आई शुड नॉट बी एंग्री, I should not cry, I should not shout out of anger. Then I define further, anger is of 2 types. One is bridled anger and another is unbridled anger. Unbridled anger is mental, means it is a disease, it's behavioral disease, and bridled anger is right. ये मैंने knowledge। अब मुझे कैसे ब्रिडल्ड एंगर की तरफ बढ़ना है, ये मेरा टीचर खुद आचरण से मुझे सिखाएगा। बहुत सारे घरों में पेरेंट्स चीखते बुरी तरह से, गुस्से में भूल जाते हैं, वो सामान तक उठा के फेंक देते हैं, बट दे वांट देयर चाइल्ड टू बी एट राइट प्लेस विद पीस, कूलनेस, कामनेस, कंपैशन। जब हम ये कहते हैं कि द अल्टीमेट ड्यूटी ऑफ माय चिल्ड्रन इज that it should be, he should or she should become my budhape ki lathi, that means we are leading a selfish life even in the fostering of our children. We do not tell them that you have to help your देखिए इथिक्स की बातें तो इसी तरीके से होंगी, 1 2 3 4 ABCD उस चाइल्ड में तो हो नहीं सकती. जब हम we hardly tell our student to stand for nation, to stand for society, go for social service. Social service भी बहुत सारी जगह क्रेडिट कोर्स के रूप में लानी पड़ी है दुनिया के कई देशों में, भारत में ही अभी नहीं आई है. मैं आप सभी लोगों से आह्वान कर रहा हूं और हम लोग इस मूवमेंट को एक चला रहे हैं कि until one sows one tree, one student plants a tree in a year, he should not be promoted to next class. Until and unless after 9, some students do not visit the poor children, the Jhuggi Jhopri areas, the hospitals, they should not be promoted, because these are the place of grief, these are the place of sorrows, and from these places one learns compassion. हम अपने बच्चों को जितना पैम्पर करेंगे वो उतना ही इमोरल बिहेव करेंगे, क्योंकि वो ग्रीव्स नहीं जानते, उन्हें दुख कष्ट क्या होता है ये पता नहीं होगा. इसीलिए हमें अपने बच्चों को पैम्पर नहीं करना है, हमें अपने स्टूडेंट्स को पैम्पर नहीं करना है. हमने स्टूडेंट्स और क्लास को एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम फ्रेम में और एक सिलेबस में कैद नहीं करना है. वी हैव एनस्लेव्ड अवर स्टूडेंट्स इन द करिकुलम एंड क्लासरूम्स. ये बहुत बड़ी गलती इस देश ने की है. In 1937, Gandhi ji put this caution on when he was designing Vardha Yojana, Vardha Plan of Education, which is one of the most marvelous plans. Or we have its ample reflections in the National Education Policy 2020, Vardha Yojana. And I think everybody should read that. बच्चे को हम कैसे एक सिलेबस में कैद कर सकते हैं, और वो भी मॉरल एजुकेशन का, which is entailing the life, जिसमें पूरा जीवन है, उसे हम किताब में सीमित कर देंगे कैसे? एक किताब में तो एक कहानी के साथ जस्टिस नहीं हो पाता, 5 पात्रों के साथ जस्टिस नहीं हो पाता. वो किताब में हम हजारों जीवन कैद कैसे कर सकते हैं? हम बच्चों को मोटिवेट करते हैं. Why do not we teach our children to inspire? Motivation and inspiration both are two distinct terms. Motivation comes from outside, inspiration comes from inside. Values can never be inculcated from outside, they are inculcated from inside. So we need to inspire the students, not motivate them. और आजकल तो खास तौर से मोटिवेशनल क्लासेस, अब क्लासेस भी मोटिवेशनल हुआ करेंगी. फॉर्मल एजुकेशन कैन नॉट टीच इथिक्स. और अभी हमारे पास एज सच न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी का कोई एग्जीक्यूटिव फ्रेमवर्क नहीं है, वो बन रहा है. तब तक हमें अपने लेवल पर काम करने की जरूरत है. एनईपी का एक फेमस लाइन है, टू डेवलप गुड ह्यूमन बींग्स कैपेबल ऑफ रेशनल थॉट, इंडक्शन, प्रोसेसिंग, कंपैशन एंड एम्पैथी, नॉट सिंपैथी, एम्पैथी, करेज एंड रेजिलियंस, साइंटिफिक टेम्पर एंड क्रिएटिव इमेजिनेशन विद साउंड एथिकल moorings and values. देखिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. कहना तो खैर बहुत आसान है इन सब के बारे में, लेकिन ये करना बहुत मुश्किल है. I repeat it. To develop good human beings, this is an additional responsibility on teachers' shoulders. अभी तक हम लोग क्लास में कहते जरूर हैं, लेकिन डेवलप नहीं करने का कोई पेडागोजी नहीं है हमारे पास। कुछ टीचर्स अपने बिहेवियर से इंस्पायर करते हैं स्टूडेंट्स को, वो एक अलग बात है, लेकिन हमारे पास कोई स्पेशल क्लासेस नहीं है फॉर दिस। राइट फ्रॉम द अर्ली चाइल्ड केयर to tertiary education, we do not have any classes at all for inculcating emotional, ethical values. Rational thought के साथ भी ethical हो जाए, emotional होने की जरूरत नहीं है, rational thought and action. And we need to teach to our students empathy, not sympathy. स्वामी रामकृष्ण जी महाराज ने एक बार कहा था, स्वामी विवेकानंद जी को डांटते हुए, तुम किस पे दया कर सकते हो? मनुष्य किसी पर दया नहीं कर सकता है। मनुष्य का धर्म है करुणा, कंपैशन, एम्पैथी। दया नहीं कर सकता। जीवों पर दया करो, गलत है। करुणा करो। वो हमारे साथ के लोग हैं। वी ऑल आर टुगेदर एज ह्यूमन। इवन एनिमल्स आर पार्ट एंड पार्सल ऑफ आवर लाइफ। बर्ड्स, trees, they all are part and parcel of our life. तो मैं फिर से पेडागोजी की तरफ लौट रहा हूं। हमें एक क्लास में एक टॉपिक लेके उसको कई दिनों तक डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट करना होगा, तब जाकर हम स्टूडेंट्स को कंट्रोल सिखा सकते हैं, तब जाकर हम स्टूडेंट्स को जो न्यूएंस ऑफ डिफरेंट वर्ड्स एंड टर्मिनोलॉजी है वो सिखा सकते हैं। We have to demonstrate this NEP 2020 must include demonstration classes for the inculcation of value system and ethics. Then only the dream behind VBE, value-based education, will be fulfilled. Otherwise, it will not. Just teaching in the name of international education, internationalization, or globalization, just teaching physics, chemistry, maths, political science, public administration, psychology, and many more will not suffice the purpose, because there we read what has already happened. With there we read or we study history, a part of history that does not develop a vision. This kind of curriculum will not create a vision, and without the vision, one cannot be compassionate. I fear that I have taken a lot of time of yours, and but there were so many things to be mentioned, because value education starts from when child is 3, then from 3 to 5, then 5 to 12, then 12 to the rest of the life. But what is the crux of whatever I say or whatever is my experiences? That values can only be taught through demonstration. They cannot be taught in the class as a curriculum or as a syllabus, and they cannot be taught through books. So VBE in NEP is an important dream, but to fulfill this dream, we need specialized teachers who adopt demonstrative technology in the classroom, or pedagogy, this kind of pragmatic pedagogy in the classrooms, where time has no limit, where topic has no limit, where there is no syllabus. The whole life is a syllabus for VBE. So this has already been practiced in America. ये बोलना जरूरी होता है आजकल कि ये फला फला देशों में हो चुका है, because we earn our experiences through the experience of different societies. So it has already been practiced in US. It has already been practiced in England. Russia has practiced it. So we have to make our children courageous, intellectual, techno-friendly, but at the same time, we have to convert Indian society into very disciplined and ethics-based society. The time has taught the German business system, the American business system, many business systems of New Zealand and Australia and so many countries, they have already demonstrated that even in business, ethics can be practiced. So with this, I would request everybody to have questions if Neeru ma'am allows. And I am again thankful to all the audience, and particularly Alisha, Neeru ma'am, and my very respected teacher, Professor Nirmal Jindal. Thank you so much for giving me patient ears. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Pavanji, for your very wide-ranging and very inspiring discussion. हमारे साथ YouTube पे भी कुछ स्टूडेंट्स जुड़े हुए हैं और मैं एक दो क्वेश्चंस उन्होंने जो मुझको भेजे हैं, I would like to read them out to you. एक पीयूष त्यागी हैं और he is asking, ethical values are decreasing continuously. How can we stop this trend? How can the values be increased? You have of course covered a lot of things in your talk, but I think he would be wanting a little more direct answer to his question.
This is good if present generation is asking such questions, and I would always encourage them to keep asking such questions, because you are the one who, if learn, can translate that learning into practice. Values diminish हुई हैं और उसका रीजंस हम ही लोग हैं, क्योंकि हम लोगों ने ये एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि वैल्यू सिस्टम एक आइडियलिज्म है. हमने ये एक्सेप्ट कर लिया कि बिना वैल्यूज के ही बिजनेस हो सकती है. पॉलिटिक्स में वैल्यूज की कोई जरूरत नहीं है, पॉलिटिक्स में वैल्यूज का कोई स्कोप नहीं. ये हम लोग एक्सेप्ट कर चुके हैं. हम लोग ये एक्सेप्ट कर चुके हैं कि लीडिंग अ प्रैक्टिकल लाइफ इज डिफरेंट फ्रॉम लीडिंग अ वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ. वैल्यू बेस्ड लाइफ मीन्स एन एल्डोरेडो, एक बड़ी खूबसूरत जगह है जो धरती पे कहीं नहीं. हमने दोनों के बीच में बैलेंस नहीं रखा. गुड एंड बैड पीपल आर ऑलवेज एट ऑल द टाइम्स. राम जी के समय में भी बैड पीपल वर देयर, कृष्ण के समय में बैड पीपल वर देयर, जीसस के समय में बैड पीपल वर देयर. तो हम इनफैक्ट जब मॉरलिटी की बात करते हैं तो दुनिया बचाने की बात करते हैं, अपनी जिंदगी सही जीने की बात करते हैं. इसलिए मॉरलिटी इज हाईएस्ट. मॉरलिटी comprises highest pragmatic value. लेकिन हम उसको मानते हैं कि ये pragmatism नहीं है, ये idealism है which cannot be practiced. पहली चीज तो दिमाग से निकालना होगा. दूसरी चीज हमें ये याद रखना होगा कि हम सबके साथ लड़ रहे हैं. Everybody is fighting with everybody, and hence everybody is defeated. ये हमें याद रखना होगा. साथ ही ये भी याद रखना होगा कि ऐसी जिंदगी से क्या फायदा जिसमें डर डर के जिए, मर मर के जिए. ऐसी जिंदगी से क्या फायदा जिसमें कोई व्यक्ति खुल्लम खुल्ला हमें एक्सप्लॉइट करे इन द नेम ऑफ ब्राइब. जहां ब्राइब होगा वहां जस्टिस नहीं होगा. तो जिस पर्टिकुलर फिलॉसफी के लिए, लिबर्टी, जस्टिस एंड इक्वालिटी के लिए हमने इस दुनिया को बनाया था, इस स्टेट सिस्टम को बनाया था, वो स्टेट सिस्टम इसलिए कोलैप्स कर जाएगा क्योंकि हम मॉरल नहीं है, हमारे दोस्त भी मॉरल नहीं है, हमारे घर के लोग भी मॉरल नहीं है. हम जहां जाते हैं वहां मॉरलिटी नहीं है. हमें इस चीज को याद करना होगा. और ये देखिए, कोई भी आइडियोलॉजी बनता है और आइडियोलॉजी के लिए बहुत जरूरी है मूवमेंट. मूवमेंट का मतलब बिल्कुल ये नहीं होता है कि सड़कों पर उतरना है. मूवमेंट का मतलब होता है उसके लिए काम करना है. तो लेट देयर बी a movement for value-based society, value-based world. Theodore Columbus, when he writes about the importance of justice in international relations, he has written some wonderful pieces. आप सब लोग को पढ़ना चाहिए. Justice in International Relations, Theodore Columbus. बिना जस्टिस के हमेशा वॉर होगी, और वॉर होती ही तब है जब इनजस्टिस होता है. ऐसा भी कह सकते हैं. जब हम किसी के राइट्स को छीनना चाहते हैं, तो बेटे what you have written here is a wonderful question. I encourage that. और बहुत जरूरी है कि जो गलतियां हमसे अभी तक हुई हैं, जिसके वजह से हमारे परिवार टूट गए, सोसाइटी में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, इंटरनेशनल रिलेशंस में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, ग्लोबल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट है, अब वो थोड़ा सा रास्ता छोड़कर हम कंपैशन की तरफ आए. और कंपैशन का मतलब यही है लव एंड रिगार्ड. तो वो लव और रिगार्ड हमारे एक दूसरे के प्रति हो, तो उससे चीजें बेहतर होंगी, अदरवाइज नहीं होंगी.
थैंक यू सो मच पवन जी. और एक स्टूडेंट है दीप्ति. शी वांट्स, इसका एक ऑब्जर्वेशन ही है कि स्कूल में जैसे हमारा मॉरल साइंस सब्जेक्ट होता था, तो कॉलेज लेवल पे भी ऐसा कुछ होना नहीं चाहिए, which which teaches us about our culture and helps us to imbibe these values.
This is a wonderful suggestion. और न्यू एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में ये सोच रहे हैं. नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी. तो नेशनल एजुकेशन पॉलिसी में टर्शरी लेवल पर यानी हायर एजुकेशन में भी वैल्यू बेस्ड क्लासेस, वैल्यू एजुकेशन क्लासेस की बात कही गई है. और मुझे लगता है इसमें अभी समय लगेगा, क्योंकि उसके लिए क्लासरूम्स चाहिए, उसके लिए टीचर्स चाहिए, स्पेशलिस्ट चाहिए. थोड़ा समय तो लगेगा, लेकिन आने वाले समय में हायर एजुकेशन में भी ये क्लासेस होंगी. बल्कि टीनेजर्स को डील करने वाली सोसाइटी के लिए तो ये बहुत जरूरी है कि ऐसी क्लासेस दें, क्योंकि यही वो वक्त होता है जब हमारे हार्मोन्स डेवलप हो रहे होते हैं, खासतौर से डोपामाइन, ऑक्सीटोसिन, कार्टिसोल, और उसकी वजह से हम अक्सर बहक जाते हैं. हमारा खान पान, हमारा जो घर का, बाहर का, टेलीविजन का, मोबाइल का माहौल है, वो हमारे कदम बहुत आसानी से बहकाता है. और इमोशनल वैक्यूम सोसाइटी में बहुत ज्यादा क्रिएट हो गया है, क्योंकि हम भी पेरेंट्स पे नहीं जाते, और एट टाइम्स पेरेंट्स को भी बहुत सारी चीजें नहीं पता होती, कभी कभी उन पर टाइम भी नहीं होता. तो हमारे इमोशन का जो सेंटर है वो हमारी कैंटीन होती है, और वहीं से चीजें डिस्टॉर्ट होना शुरू होती है. तो टर्शरी एजुकेशन में ये बहुत ज्यादा जरूरी है कि हम मॉरल क्लासरूम्स बनाएं, जहाँ मॉरल एजुकेशन दी जाए, डिमॉन्स्ट्रेट की जाए, बच्चों की बात सुनी जाए, 1-to-1 कनेक्शन हो. हालांकि डीयू में ये सिस्टम है, लेकिन इसको अभी और ज्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग करने की जरूरत है. तो उस कम्युनिकेशन और कनेक्टिविटी से हम हायर एजुकेशन में भी बहुत बड़े मेटामॉर्फिक चेंजेस ला सकते हैं और अपने स्टूडेंट्स को बेहतर कर सकते हैं.
थैंक यू. देयर इज अनदर क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम अनुकृति. और वो अनुकृति, आई एम एक्चुअली दे आर नॉट बीन एबल टू पोस्ट इन द टू एवरीवन. वो मेरे को डायरेक्ट ही मैसेज भेज दिया है, but I will read it out, and it is connected to what you have just said, that whether students can learn from this demonstration pedagogy at is there an age limit for that, or a student can learn at any age and at any stage?
वैसे तो 12 साल तक का जो समय है, up to the age of 12, this is the best time to learn through demonstration. But otherwise also, human mind is capable of learning through the life. That is why lifelong learning is mentioned in Shastra, and now it is in almost every university of the world, lifelong learning. So it can be learned through demonstration anytime in the life. And even after you complete your college, even after you grow enough old, you can learn through your experience. If somebody demonstrates or somebody speaks about the experiences, guides you, if you imbibe that, you can still change yourself.
There is another question from Pooja, who is, I think, asking something that is very relevant to everybody. Because of no physical classes and lack of any co-curricular activities, students are feeling very demotivated. So how can they overcome, and cope up with this kind of situation?
Yes, wonderful question. See, instead of just completing the curriculum or syllabus, or instead of going for the assessment only, unfortunately, our education means completing a particular syllabus and then assessing the students. So besides these are also important, equally important, but despite after these classes, there should be one stimulant class, which would stimulate your self-confidence, which would stimulate your happiness. जो अंदर एक खुशी दब जाती है, डिप्रेशन आ जाता है, माहौल से डिप्रेशन आ जाता है, तो वो उसको तो दबी हुई हैप्पीनेस को निकाल दे बाहर. जब हम खुश होते हैं तो हम ज्यादा मॉरल हो जाते हैं, तो वो दबी हुई हैप्पीनेस निकले. ऐसी क्लासेस 2-3 दिन में एक बार जरूर होनी चाहिए, और इसके लिए कोई बहुत स्पेसिफिक टीचिंग की या टीचर की जरूरत नहीं है. जो क्लासरूम टीचर्स हैं वही इंस्पायर कर सकते हैं और वही खुश कर सकते हैं, वो कॉन्फिडेंस भर सकते हैं. तो हम में से हर एक को लगभग 5 मिनट रोजाना इस काम के लिए जरूर देना चाहिए, क्योंकि हम बाहर अब नहीं निकल रहे हैं. तो वही वर्चुअल प्लेटफॉर्म इज द रियल प्लेटफॉर्म, हैज बिकम द प्लेटफॉर्म for the development of the life. So I think 5 minutes we can spare in the classroom, in the virtual classroom, for the motivation, inspiration, and happiness of the students.
If you permit, can I take 2 more questions to
Yes,
final
yes,
questions?
please. I'm always okay.
One question is from Janki Parekh. She's joined us from the YouTube. How can children convince parents to allow them to work and to contribute to society? Because as her perception is, parents always say charity begins at home. So you work at home, but they are not willing to let them go out and be engaged in social causes.
See, the generation of which even I am a part, this generation has learned to get education for earning. हमारे लिए education का मतलब है earning certificate, so that we could be a better earner. But in the process of earning, we forget the learning of compassion, learning of creativity. इसलिए हमारी जनरेशन या मुझसे थोड़ी सी छोटी जनरेशन दुखी है, क्योंकि उसको कुछ और पता ही नहीं. So in the name of entertainment, they have only television or films. और वहां जाकर कुछ मिलता नहीं है. Charity begins at home का मतलब ये नहीं है कि charity begins and ends at home. Charity does begin from home. मतलब आप घर में पेरेंट्स के साथ अच्छा व्यवहार कीजिए, घर के काम कीजिए, but it does not end at home. उसके बाद यहां से हम ये ट्रेनिंग लेके फिर आगे बढ़ते हैं सोसाइटी के लिए. और इसीलिए मैंने ये एडवाइस भी किया था कि हमारे जो कोर्सेज हैं, पेरेंट्स उसी से काबू में आएंगे, ये फैक्ट है. हमारे कोर्सेज में सोशल वर्क कंपलसरी कर देना चाहिए. if social work is not done in a year, this particular kind of or amount of social work is not done in a year, you will not be promoted. Then our parents would think, उसमें से भी they will try to find out a midway. जैसे हमारे assignments दुकानों पे मिल जाते हैं, या टीचर्स भी असाइनमेंट देते हैं बच्चों को तो उनके पेरेंट्स करते हुए नजर आते हैं, जो बहुत गलत है, माल प्रैक्टिस है. और एंड वी आर इन टीचिंग आवर चाइल्ड, बोथ स्टूडेंट एंड चाइल्ड, सम माल प्रैक्टिसेस. चीटिंग करना सिखाते हैं हमने, क्योंकि अगली जनरेशन पिछली जनरेशन का इम्प्रूव्ड वर्जन होती है. वो इम्प्रूवमेंट किसी भी डायरेक्शन में हो सकता है. मैं एक अच्छा टेक्नीशियन हूं तो मेरी अगली जनरेशन मुझसे अच्छी टेक्नीशियन होगी, और मैं अच्छा झूठ बोलने वाला हूं तो मुझसे अगली जनरेशन मुझसे भी खूबसूरत झूठ बोलेगी. तो पेरेंट्स को अगर मैं
I think again there is some technical glitch. पवन जी अभी आवाज नहीं आ रही उनकी. Please wait. We are again waiting for Dr. Pavan to join back. I think he has another technical obstruction.
Yes. Thank you, host, for allowing me to unmute.
Yes, yes.
So I've joined back in the same
Yes.
electricity problem, I
Yes.
think.
So I will ask you one final question, which has been asked by Pratik Agarwal. And according to him, in India, the value education is different for every state. So how should one organization go ahead for value education?
If we read meticulously, we'll find the syllabus of value education is almost the same everywhere. Words may be different, serialization or index may be different, but syllabus is by and large the same, because everybody is ready to learn from the books alone. Hence, almost the same subject matter is there. But learning is nowhere, teaching is nowhere. So we have to have the specific classes and teachers for teaching value education. We have to give a lot of importance to value education, and without which we cannot be serious to learn. And when good classes with good teachers will be there about value inculcation, then definitely there will be a deep impact on the society. Definitely, particularly the generation which is in very early 20s at this time. If they are taught, if they are given value education in higher education, in technical institute, etc. So they will learn better. I know some universities are there, technical universities are there, where they are teaching business and ethics. In our university also, business and ethics is a part of the curriculum. But the practice of righteousness is never through the books. It is through the demonstration. This I will reiterate. Dr. Ajay Jha perhaps wants to ask something. He's raised.
No, I will be actually calling Dr. Ajit Jha to give a vote of thanks. But before I call him, I would like to thank you also for sparing such, your valuable time and really giving us a very interesting talk on issues which somehow are not given so much of importance. So thank you for highlighting that importance. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Thank you.
Ajit, can I please ask you to give the vote of thanks now? Dr. Ajit Jha.
Have to unmute.
Yes, please.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
no, it is unmuted. Thank you, Niru. I thank all participants, students and teachers participants in this session. And I thank our Madam Principal, who is a source of strength and driving force behind college activities, and our IQAC, which is under the leadership of Madam Niru Chakravarti and a very able team. So there is no point in thanking entire IQAC because they are the host. And I thank you, sir, Professor Pavanji, Acharya Pavanji, and Sadhak Pavanji. Thank you very much for your stimulating discussion and your emphasis particularly on two things. I can say that two major takeaways. Number one, the crisis of relationship which we are facing all around, all segment, all age group, and we must have greater awareness of this crisis. And number two, it is practice, 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 demonstration, demonstration, demonstration. Only through that we can inculcate value. There are no bookish method. Classrooms, colleges, all can be helpful only if they can be demonstrative, they can demonstrate things. Thank you again very much. Thank you, sir.
I thank you all for attending today's session, and we've really learned